Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Tuesday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today is January 30th, 2018, and now the news at noon.
Reported by the Durango Herald, on January 21st, a human-triggered avalanche occurred in a steep gully in a popular backcountry skiing spot known as Sam's Trees on the south side of Red Mountain Pass near mile marker 77 on U.S. Highway 550. I'm sure you guys have already heard about this. The avalanche was recorded at 18 to 22 inches deep and 240 feet wide and released the entire season's snowpack built up in the gully, the CAIC said. The avalanche resulted in the death of Abel Palmer. According to a final report on the incident conducted by CAIC, Palmer and his skiing partner had looked up the avalanche danger that day and specifically decided to avoid the steep gully in question. But Palmer accidentally entered the gully, triggering the avalanche. Efforts to revive him, which included nearly 3 hours of CPR that lasted until after dark, were unsuccessful. According to the report, the mild and relatively dry winter these past few months had caused a weak layer of snow. A recent storm had dumped fresh snow on top of that weak layer, which Green described as a building on a weak foundation. An autopsy to determine Palmer's official cause of death had not been completed. Efforts to reach San Juan County Coroner Kerry Metzler on Monday were unsuccessful. The report concludes that both skiers and had read about the avalanche danger and developed a plan to avoid the area they ended up in. Skier 1, after reviewing photos of where the avalanche occurred, was surprised how far off track they had become. This avalanche marked the first avalanche death in Colorado of the 2017-18 season.
From the Denver CBS, reporting on the Norwood murders and doomsday cult. There are two aspects of a murder case in Norwood which experts are looking further into: how the doomsday cult operated and what role it played in the alleged abuse of two young girls. Dr. Carl Rashek, a professor at the University of Denver, said most cults, according to the actual sociological definition of a cult, tends to form around the inspiration or the charismatic influence of a particular leader, in this case the woman in question. Recently unsealed court documents state investigators believe Madonna Xeus was the leader of the cult that believed the August solar eclipse would bring the apocalypse. Hannah Marshall, age 8, and Michaela Roberts, age 10, were found dead inside a car in September. Investigators still haven't been able to finalize a timeline of when the girls were originally placed in the car and when food and water were withheld. Dr. Kathleen Mann, a cult psychology specialist based in Lakewood, says it was rare for a cult to be involved in murder before this alleged case. She told CBS 4 the beliefs of the cult are secondary, but the bigger issue are the power and control of the leader. Court documents state Sayus told her followers to put the two girls in the car because they were unclean as the apocalypse approached. Mann and Rashke are hoping to find out more about how Sayus's power over the group kept the other adults from acting responsibly and saving the children. All suspects are still in jail awaiting due processing.
According to the Durango Herald, 17 public health schools in the U.S. and Canada pledged Thursday to refuse research money from a new anti-smoking group funded by the tobacco industry. The Foundation for a Smoke-Free World was created in September with nearly $1 billion from the Philip Morris Tobacco Company, saying it aims to end smoking worldwide and support research to meet that goal. But deans of public health schools at Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and other universities said the group is too closely tied to an industry that sells deadly products to millions. Officials at the New York-based foundation did not immediately provide comment. Philip Morris declined to comment. The foundation has yet to issue research grants, but said it has received draft proposals and will make funding decisions after a series of meetings scheduled to be held in February. A statement signed by the 17 deans and first released to the Associated Press says that if Philip Morris wants to end smoking, it should stop selling and advertising cigarettes. Others signing the pledge include leaders of public health schools at Florida International University, the University of Minnesota, Ohio State University, Tulane University, and the University of Alberta in Canada. The foundation said it will pay for research that helps smokers quit, helps tobacco farmers find other livelihoods, and develops reduced risk alternatives to traditional cigarettes.
From the Durango Herald, a plan to end hunger across the state in 5 years aims to connect those struggling to buy food with federal assistance programs. Hunger is a widespread problem, with nearly 1 in 10 people in Colorado struggling to buy food, according to the statewide plan written by a coalition of groups. The plan emphasizes the importance of increasing the low statewide enrollment in federal programs, including Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, or SNAP, formerly known as food stamps, and the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children program called WIC. It also discusses increasing the availability of fresh food options through community organization, among other strategies. Only about half of those eligible for WIC in the state are enrolled, and SNAP enrollment also falls short at 60% of those eligible, according to the statewide plan. About 43% of those eligible in La Plata County are signed up for SNAP, according to the most recent data available through Hunger Free Colorado. Having access to healthy food also improves the long-term health and reduces medical costs for residents. For children, federal assistance can reduce their future risk of developing diabetes and heart disease, according to the state plan. WIC enrollment reduces premature births and low birth weight in babies. It also improves access to regular health care, among a litany of other benefits, said Jenny Pritchard, WIC program manager for San Juan Basin Public Health. For every $1 spent on a pregnant woman in the WIC program, up to $4.21 is saved in medical expenses for her newborn baby. To reach more people, the health department is planning to offer WIC services at new locations in La Plata and Archuleta counties to help enroll families who have transportation barriers, she said. It also plans to start a new advertising campaign around the program. Increasing enrollment in federal programs will reach only a portion of those in need, because 52% of La Plata County's food insecure population is not eligible for SNAP because their income is too high, said Sarah Smith, director of the food bank. Increasing enrollment without increasing income guidelines will still leave a huge gap of people experiencing hunger, she said. To qualify for SNAP, a mother with 2 children must make less than $26,556 a year, according to the statewide plan. The same family can qualify for WIC if it earns less than $37,297 per year. As the Southwest manager of Cooking Matters, Darcy Perillo helps residents understand how to eat healthier with federal benefits. The high cost of living is forcing some people to leave town, she said. I think a lot of people are being driven out right now. People living in poverty in our community and middle class are saying, quote, I have to go somewhere else, she said. There's strong local interest in the Cooking Matters classes, which are focused on teaching parents of children under 5 years old about buying and preparing healthy and affordable food. Our classes tend to be full. There's definitely a need and an interest in what we have to offer, she said. National data shows that families who participate in the nonprofits classes buy lower sodium and lower fat foods and more whole grains and lean proteins. In addition to improved health, children who are well-fed also do better in school and have higher graduation rates, said Jennifer Banyan, who worked on the plan. The plan was endorsed by the governor, John Hickenlooper, when it was released. This is, quite simply, an imperative for our state to have a single Coloradan, particularly our kids and our seniors, go to bed hungry or worry about how they will eat the next day is unacceptable, he said in a statement. Schools, nonprofits, governments, healthcare systems, and others will have to collaborate to end hunger across the state. Banyan said hunger is solvable, but it's going to take every sector.
According to the Cortez Journal, a group of students from Dolores High School had the opportunity to speak with a Holocaust survivor, Georgette Rosenthal, on Thursday afternoon. The 9th grade English class is reading Night by Eli Wiesel, a first-hand account of his time in Auschwitz. A Spanish class was also in attendance because Rosenthal speaks fluent Spanish with a French accent, a unique experience for the students. 2 Dolores High School teachers, English teacher Jessica Mulvihill Kuntz and Spanish teacher Liliana Argento, teamed up for the presentation because it was close to Holocaust Remembrance Day, which was on January 27th. When Lily said that one of her best family friends was a Holocaust survivor, I said, this is why we teach, is to do this kind of project to get kids to really kind of open up and see what the world is about and what happens to people, Mulvihill Kuntz said. Rosenthal spoke to the students via phone call from Argento's phone. She she told the students her overall story, and as she spoke, more specific memories came back to her. She was born in Paris, France, to a wealthy Jewish family. She and her siblings were sent to southern France to live with family friends in hiding. She told a story of having to hide her bike in a haystack and walk to their new school to protect their identities. They were often stopped by German soldiers on their walk to school and forced to lie about their religion, many times telling the soldiers they were Lutheran, not Jewish. This experience of talking to Georgette meant a lot because a lot of people complain about going to school every day when she was away from her family and had to hide for 5 years, Tani Benavides, a Spanish 3 student, said. I just think that is an incredible experience, and being able to talk to someone who had experienced all that. Freshman student Elizabeth Frederick said she felt humbled to be able to speak to someone who survived World War II, and the experience made her realize how much faith and hope it must have taken to have survived. While Rosenthal was never sent to a concentration camp herself, she was in hiding for 5 years, during which one of her uncles died in a concentration camp. She expressed to the students how lucky she and her family felt to have survived the war. And now, let's take a look at the weather.
The national weather map continues to show the high pressure dominating the country, keeping mostly average to above normal temperatures in place without precipitation in the forecast. The low pressure system, bringing mostly rain and some rain-snow mix to the Pacific Northwest, is now moving slowly east behind the snow being generated in the upper Midwest and Great Lake region, along the Appalachian Ridge, and in parts of the mid-Atlantic and uppermost coastal areas of New England. And for you Florida fans, some rain possible on the southeastern tip of the coastline. Regionally, it's the same story. High pressure will remain over the western U.S. early this week, bringing a dry northwest flow over eastern Utah and western Colorado. Temperatures will remain warmer than normal through Wednesday, and a series of weak disturbances will clip northwest Colorado late this week into the weekend, resulting in breezy conditions and a slight chance of light snow over the northern mountains. However, confidence in any significant snowfall through next week remains very low. And if you watch our sister weather channel 32.2, that showcases the webcams around the area and broadcasts the NOAA radio weather station. Currently, that audio system is offline. They know about it, and hopefully no one has to actually get up on the Abajos to fix the system. It's a mess up there with snow and mud. Locally, our 5-day DCTV outlook shows today mostly sunny with a high near 50, east-southeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming south-southwest in the afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 27, southeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. It's quite something that the low all this week is reading 28 degrees. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 52, southeast winds 5 to 15 miles an hour tomorrow, becoming west in the afternoon. Wednesday night, partly cloudy and a low around 28 degrees, north-northeast winds around 5 miles an hour. Thursday, partly sunny with a high near 50, north-northwest winds 5 to 10, and Thursday night, mostly cloudy and again around 28 degrees. Mostly sunny on Friday with a high near 53. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 28. Saturday, sunny with a high up at 53. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 28. And Sunday, sunny, high near 51 and mostly clear with overnight down to 28. And don't forget, if you are a moon eclipse enthusiast and hopefully not a cult follower in a bad way, in our sky, the full moon is set for January 31st, UTC 1328, which mountain time would be 6:28 a.m. tomorrow morning. This one is called a supermoon as it comes within 24 hours of the perigee, when the moon ellipse circles closer to the Earth's surface, making it look bigger. It also is the blue moon, as in only once in a while when there are 2 full moons within 1 calendar month. And also, it will be a blood moon, as the appearance during the eclipsing will shade it reddish. So if you get up early on Wednesday, you may be able to watch the eclipse as the moon sets towards the west between the shadow, and it begins at 3:51 a.m., but don't bother getting up then. The real excitement will be when it is at its maximum at 6:29 a.m., 1.32 magnitude, and will end by 7:12 a.m. And if you get any great photos from the Four Corners, please do share them on our Facebook page. And now, back to the news.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, the Navajo Nation is expanding a solar energy farm in Kayenta. The second phase will produce the same amount of energy as the first, about 27 megawatts, or enough to power 18,000 homes. It's expected to start operating next year. The Navajo Tribal Utility Authority is financing the $50 million project through loans. Tribal officials say they'll sell the renewable energy credits to the Phoenix-based Salt River Project. SRP also will get energy equal to the amount generated at Kayenta. The setup is similar for the first phase in Kayenta that went online last year. The two utilities signed an agreement Friday to work together on future renewable energy projects with a goal of 500 megawatts over the next 5 to 10 years.
From the Journal, the Ute Mountain Ute Tribal Council has rejected congressional testimony made by a tribal member supporting a bill to replace Bears Ears National Monument with two smaller monuments. Suzette Morris spoke in favor of H.R. 4532 in front of the House Committee on Natural Resources January 9th. She is a Ute Mountain tribal member from the White Mesa Reservation community in southeast Utah. The bill attempts to codify President Donald Trump's December 4th proclamation, replacing the 1.3 million acre Bears Ears National Monument with the Shash Jah and Indian Creek National Monuments, totaling 200,000 acres. It also created a modified tribal management council to help manage the monuments. But the Ute Mountain Ute tribe, which lobbied for Bears Ears as part of a 5-tribe coalition, said Friday that Morris's views did not represent the tribe's position and her testimony was unauthorized. The tribe opposes the legislation and is part of a lawsuit challenging Trump's modification of Bears Ears. The tribe has authorized Regina Lopez White Skunk to testify for the tribe at the next congressional hearing on the bill, which is scheduled for today, January 30th at 10:30 a.m. Lopez White Skunk lobbied on behalf of the tribe for the original monument. She is a former council member and education director at the Ute Museum. In a January 10th letter to Chairman Rob Bishop of the House Committee on Natural Resources, the Tribal Council said having Morris testify was an inappropriate political ploy. The letter further states that the Ute Mountain Council is the appropriate entity to decide who speaks on behalf of the tribe and that the committee should honor the tribe's laws governing official representation. In her testimony, Morris claimed that the majority of White Mesa residents do not support the Bears Ears National Monument and accused the tribe of supporting it in secret. She is the vice president of Stewards of San Juan County, a land planning group. She said it is the people who live closest to the land that understand the land best and should have a voice in how the lands are managed. Our voices have been silenced by special interest groups funded by Hollywood actors, San Francisco boardrooms, and by tribes who do not live anywhere near Bears Ears. Due to their ancestral ties to the land, a 5-tribe coalition was formed to guide management of the original Bears Ears National Monument. The Navajo, Ute Mountain, Zuni, Hopi, and Northern Ute appointed representatives to the coalition. But under the modified monument, the Tribal Management Council, made up of Navajo, Ute Mountain, 2 San Juan County Commissioner representatives, and a federal representative. Zuni, Hopi, and Northern Utes were dropped out. Leland Begay, Associate General Counsel for the Ute Mountain Ute Tribe, said the Utes object to H.R. 4532 because members of the Tribal Management Council would be chosen by the U.S. government and not the individual tribes. That takes away our sovereign ability to choose our own leaders, he said.
According to the Durango Herald, scientists have created a hair-thin implant that can drip medications deep into the brain by remote control and with pinpoint precision. Tested only in animals so far, if the device pans out, it could mark a new approach to treating brain diseases, potentially reducing side effects by targeting only the hard-to-reach circuits that need care. You could deliver things right to where you want, no matter the disease, said Robert Langer, a professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, whose biomedical engineering team reported the research Wednesday. Stronger and safer treatments are needed for brain disorders ranging from depression to Parkinson's. Simply getting medications inside the brain past what's called the blood-brain barrier is a hurdle. It's even harder to reach its deepest structures. Pills and IV drugs that make it inside trigger side effects as they wash over entire regions of the brain. So, doctors have tried inserting tubes into the brain to pump drugs closer to the targets, but that risks infection and still isn't accurate enough. The most targeted success to date is a cancer treatment, a wafer placed on the site of a surgically removed brain tumor that oozes out chemotherapy. The MIT team's next generation approach, a customizable deep brain implant, that can deliver varying doses of more than one drug on demand. The researchers constructed 2 ultra-thin medication tubes and slid them into a stainless steel needle that's about the diameter of a human hair. That needle, built as long as needed to reach the right spot, gets inserted through a hole in the skull into the desired brain circuitry. An electrode on the tip provides feedback monitoring how the electrical activity of targeted neurons change as the medication is delivered. The needle is hooked to two small programmable pumps that hold the medications. The plan: thread the pump somewhere under the skin for a fully implantable system dubbed MINDS for miniaturized neural drug delivery system. The pumps can be refilled with an injection, and if more than two drugs are needed, additional reservoirs could be added, like in a printer ink cartridge, Langer said.
The marijuana moment from the Journal in Mancos. After a lively debate, Mancos Mayor Queenie Bars had opted not to sign a letter to U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions regarding his stance on retail marijuana. In an item that was added to the agenda after 5 p.m. Wednesday last week, the board discussed a letter sent by Cortez Mayor Karen Sheik. Bars said several other local government officials had also signed it, but she ultimately decided not to add her signature. The letter asked Sessions to reconsider his January 4th decision to rescind the Cole Memorandum, an Obama-era policy that prevented federal prosecutors from bringing charges against retail marijuana businesses in states where pot is legal. Several members of the board said they personally didn't approve of marijuana, but they didn't think the federal government should be able to override the governments of states that have made it legal. I think it's interesting that the people who are so pro-states' rights when it appeals to them can take that away, Mayor Pro Tem Fred Brooks said. My opinion would be that we should be supportive of this. In December, the board approved a business license for Mancos' third retail marijuana dispensary. Cortez is in the process of licensing a sixth. Brooks pointed out that the tax revenue from these stores has been very beneficial to the town. Town attorney David Lieberman said he approved of the letter as he understood it, but Mancos Administrator Heather Alvarez advised the board to be cautious. She said she feared signing the letter could open a political can of worms, although she also said no one in Mancos has written a formal complaint about the town's marijuana shops in recent years. The letter, which has been signed by several Colorado government officials, praises the Cole memo as a guidance that brought clear direction and public safety to states like Colorado, and said its absence will leave federal and local authorities confused on how to deal with marijuana. Of greatest concern is the sheer confusion felt by local officials who now face governing in a chaotic government, the letter said. While it may have been the intention to spark uncertainty for legal cannabis license holders across the nation, it also created significant confusion for local governments in 31 states and territories where they have comprehensive programs regulating the licensing, land use, enforcement, and taxation of the industry. She said she received the letter from Pueblo County Commissioner Sal Pace after a conference call on January 11th and asked the rest of the Cortez City Council members for approval through email before she signed it January 16th. The Mancos board members informally agreed to give Bars an extra day to research the issue before making her final decision on Friday, and on Friday afternoon she said she had decided not to sign the letter.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper has released a broad plan to further expand the state's electric vehicle market. The Denver Post reports that Hickenlooper this week said he believes the keys to economic development and cleaner air lie outside the gas engine. The plan calls for public-private partnership to build the state's electric vehicle charging infrastructure, providing a consistent refueling system across the state and Rocky Mountain West, and building new relationships to bolster investment. It also calls for updating road signage so electric vehicle owners know where to find charging stations. One estimate says Colorado could have nearly 1 million electric vehicles by 2030. Colorado currently ranks in the nation's top 10 states for electric vehicle market share and the number of electric vehicles per capita.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings. February 1st, hosted by the Four Corners River Sports, is the Snowdown Kayak Pool Slalom in Durango from 5 to 8:30 p.m. Racers pay regular rec center entry fees unless they volunteer and help set up for the event. Several slalom boats will be available in addition to a few C1s and C2s to mix it up. Registration is on-site only between 6 and 7:30 p.m. and spectators are free. Join paddlers from Durango Whitewater for a low-key kayak pool slalom for everyone to enjoy. They say playboat paddlers, canoes, and SUPs are encouraged to join. Slalom is for all ages and all types of boats and very kid-friendly. Each boater is timed through the gates, and they'll teach you the rules and course on arrival. For further questions, you can call Kent Ford at 970-259-1361. February 2nd, at the Wild Edge Brewing Collective, Justin Grimes Music will be performing live as part of the Mostly Colorado Winter Tour. Justin Grimes is an award-winning singer-songwriter from Central Florida. Voted favorite local solo acoustic artist of the year at the South Florida Country Music Awards consecutively in 2013, 14, and 15, he has been featured on ABC, CBS, and NBC television networks and is a common name on many of Florida's major radio networks. It's a $5 cover charge and open to all ages. February 4th through the 8th, it's Women's Ski Ride and Wellness event in Telluride, a ski and ride camp developed specifically for women to improve skills and to have fun. The program includes 5-day lift tickets, 4 days expert instruction by their leading women instructors, assessment of alignment and ski equipment, video analysis of ski technique, and après events. They encourage you to bring your friends and enjoy Women's Week together. You receive a discount for every new friend that you bring. Ticket information can be found online at TellurideSkiResort.com. And all of the happenings are posted on the DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. If you want to share your event, email us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119 and we'll get your news on the air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.